Every luxury product begins not in a factory, but here, where nature builds the raw material over years. This bull was selected for its horn span and hide quality. You, both will become something extraordinary.
Before anything is cut or cured, the animal is assessed with precision. Every centimeter of horn and hide documented.
The tools are prepared with the same care as the product they will eventually create. The white horn of the gray Brahman, dense, curved, naturally pigmented, is among the most prized materials in artisan manufacturing. The hide, salted and sealed within the hour, because quality leather begins with how quickly you act after harvest. Everything harvested before sunrise will be at the factory gates before noon. The clock starts now. 12 kilometers between the rangeland and the factory gates Blortus. Every minute of that journey matters to what comes next. Temperature, time, road conditions, client. All variables the driver manages before a single machine ever touches the material. Even raw materials pass through protocol, because in this facility, traceability is built into every gate. Here's your ticket, $48.40 gross.
Got it, thanks.
The moment the truck enters the bay, the material changes custody, from field to factory, in one clean handoff. The horns enter on one side fades, the hide enters on the other both on separate processing paths that will eventually meet in the same finished product. Inside this room, raw material becomes factory inventory camuses, and every piece earns its place in the production record. Before anyone touches a machine or a material, this building asks one question: are you prepared? From the outside, it reads like any industrial building, but inside, every room serves a single purpose: turning raw nature into refined luxury. Before anyone touches a machine or a material, this building asks one question: are you prepared? This floor runs 3 shifts. The machines do not stop. The material does not wait. The horn line runs parallel to the hide line. 2 materials, 2 processes, 1 destination. Under inspection light, the horn reveals what no field measurement can capture: its internal density, its grain, its potential.
They came with raw material this morning. Now they watch it begin its transformation pulfend and understand for the first time what the factory actually does.
The beam house is where the hide begins to wake up, where days of field preservation are reversed and the material is brought back to life. Water and time, the first 2 ingredients in every great leather. Everything else the factory adds comes after these. The fleshing machine removes in seconds what would take hours by hand. Industrial precision applied to an ancient craft. Inside the liming drum, chemistry does what no blade can, separating hair from hide at the molecular level. What enters the drum as raw field hide exits the washing tunnel as the beginning of genuine leather. The transformation is already irreversible. Not all leather is equal, even from the same animal. The grader's knowledge separates the extraordinary from the ordinary. Cleaned, rinsed, racked, the horn reveals its true color for the first time since it left the animal. White, dense, flawless. Pickling drops the hide's pH to the point where tanning chemistry can penetrate overcuss. Without it, the tannin never bonds. Inside these drums, chrome ions penetrate every fiber of the hide, bonding permanently, converting perishable skin into imperishable leather. The wet blue, as tanners call it, is the moment the hide crosses the line. From here, there is no going back to raw material. The splitting machine determines the leather's final thickness to within a fraction of a millimeter. A deviation of 0.2 millimeters can reject an entire batch. For 30 seconds after the boil, the horn sheath can be shaped into anything. Miss that window, and it sets permanently in whatever form it holds. Shaving is where industrial machinery operates at jeweler's precision, because the end product demands it.
1.4, 1.4, 1.4.
Vegetable tannins take time. They cannot be rushed. The drum sets the pace, and the leather follows. Stretching a hide on the frame is a skill measured in millimeters. Too much tension and the grain opens, too little and the surface stays uneven. Heat and airflow set the leather's character. The grain locks, the fiber network stabilizes, and for the first time, you can see what the finished product will feel like. Color is not applied to leather cosmint. It is absorbed by it. The difference is everything.
Staking is the difference between leather that lasts a decade and leather that lasts a century. It's where the fiber learns to move.
Look at that, perfect.
Much better.
Fat liquoring is invisible in the finished product and irreplaceable in its performance. The leather's memory of flexibility starts here. When those oven doors open, what began as a field-harvested hide will have completed its transformation, and the luxury manufacturing process can begin. The moment the oven opens, the leather enters a different world, one where machines operate at tolerances no human hand can consistently maintain. Every square centimeter of this hide has now been measured, mapped, and assigners. Nothing will be wasted. The buffing line finds every imperfection the eye would miss in Hordant and removes it before the finishing process begins. The embossing press makes permanent in 12 seconds what nature spent years creating and makes it consistent across every centimeter. 8 microns of finish, thinner than a human hair, applied with a consistency no spray gun held by a human hand could achieve.
The CNC router doesn't see horn, it sees coordinates. And coordinates don't lie.
Send the next batch through.
From this room, 2 people manage what would once have required 20, and every machine on that floor answers to this glass box.
The top coat is the leather's armor, invisible to touch, decisive in performance, and measured to within a single gloss unit.
Testing a pattern is the difference between 68% yield and 84% yield, and in luxury leather, that gap is measured in thousands per hide.
Every cut is a commitment. There is no correction after the die comes down. The edge is where luxury reveals itself, and a poorly finished edge tells you everything about a product before you've even opened it.
Skiving is the hidden craft, invisible in the finished product, essential to everything that holds together.
The horn finishes differently from leather. Where leather absorbs, horn reflects. Together, they make the product speak 2 languages at once.
2 materials that began the same morning on the same animal, separated by months of parallel processing, meet here for the first time as something new.
Everything that happens in this room determines whether everything that happened before it was worth doing.
28.4, 4 points above minimum specification. The Brahman leather carries its strength from the animal into the product.
Color that fades is a promise broken. This leather is tested to outlast the product it becomes. Rated 4, within luxury specification.
50,000 folds without a crack parried, because the person who carries this product will fold it far more than that over a lifetime.
4 pieces from 62 rejected, not for failure, but for the standard that makes the other 58 worth anything. Safety testing is not optional in luxury. It is the foundation on which every other quality claim rests.
Batch B247 is released. Begin packaging.
Line is active.
Everything produced in this factory for the past 72 hours arrives at this floor in the next 4 hours Poli, and leaves.
This is the last human inspection before the product reaches the hands it was made for, Talmul, and it is taken with complete seriousness.
Acid-free tissue is not decoration. It is the first layer of the product's protection, and it begins the moment QC ends.
The QR code on this box contains the entire story, from the rangeland at dawn to this packaging floor, accessible to anyone who scans it.
60 boxes, 1 pallet, every box traceable to a single gray Brahman bull harvested before sunrise 3 days ago. The warehouse holds the product in silence, and in the silence, the factory prepares to do everything again. We started before sunrise with an animal on a rangeland. We ended here with a product that will last longer than the hands that made it.